looks a little bit better. Oh, okay. Hello, how you guys doing? Can you guys hear me all right? I just realized it's actually been a few, maybe a week or two since my last Q&A like this, so, okay. Alright. Crystal? Okay. Uh, I just want to apologize for the kind of the semi lack of content, but I've just been kind of trying to go through a little bit of a brainstorm thing. But I do have, I'm currently editing like one video, and I was thinking about filming like another video, kind of going over my recent experience with Rise of Ronin this morning, which didn't go very well, and I'm actually kind of upset. So maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more later on. But yeah, go ahead and start throwing your guys' questions. You guys tell me how you guys have been the past week, or if you've seen anything, if you're playing anything. Not sure if you guys can see it. I'm not sure how many of you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter. But as you can see, I got a new rare poster in the back. You actually can, I should realize that this camera you can actually kind of see what it is. So, yeah, that was a big deal, right there. That's a big deal. Zach, you're playing Galactic Conquest. Galactic Conquest as the Empire. Two worlds stand between me and victory. All right, yeah. I've been hearing a lot of people talk a lot of crap about the recent. Wait, is this Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2? A lot of people have been talking like real crap about like the issues with Battlefront, but I'm gonna be honest. I haven't as someone who's really only focused on the solo player like experience. I haven't had any issues at all. I've been having a great time with it. Maybe I've heard it's primarily on PC, and maybe there's like something going on with the servers, but I've never actually tried playing the multiplayer. So these issues that people are talking about, if I were to do like my own thoughts and reviews on it, I would actually be pretty positive towards it. I think I would. Jackie, do I like Grand Theft Auto games? They're okay, but I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of them. I think the last one I played was the most recent one, but I don't think I'm I don't really have much interest in playing the next one that's coming out. I mean, I've played a lot of them, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of the franchise. Broken Limit, you have an interview next week for a job and tips on interviews for the job. Be honest, dressed as well as you can, and then just show some enthusiasm that it was for why you want the job. I mean, that's really always helped me. Vamp, you just heard about the new Sonic Heroes remake that might be coming out. I got nothing about that. Vengeance, I'm currently on my third playthrough of the OG Resident Evil 4. Alright, that's awesome. I've probably played that game at least 50 times. I played at least once or twice a year. Boda, don't know if you asked about this before, but have I seen the Dark Crystal? That sounds familiar. I may have. Is that like that Jim Henson film? If so, then I think I know what you're talking about. Then yes, I have seen it. Battlefront 2, yeah, most people I know are playing Battlefront 2 instead of Battlefront 1, but I recently had a chance to go back and replay both of them. Hey, what's up, Ringos? How you doing? Did they remove some stuff? They did remove some stuff in the single-player cutscenes. For Battlefront? Really? I don't recall them removing anything. There weren't that many cutscenes in general, but I didn't notice. Jackie, have I played The Last of Us? Yes, I have, and I've had some pretty unfortunate experiences with that game, Jackie. In character, do I think Palpatine would join the battle of Imperial soldiers? Probably not. But if he did, he'd be OP as hell. I mean, he wouldn't even need Imperial soldiers to be around him. He would just wipe out the rebels by himself. So, yeah. Vamp, you heard rumors that Resident Evil 9 will be open world. Oh, dear God. I hope not. Oh, God. Yeah, that sounds like an awful idea. Okay, it is the Jim Henson film. Yeah, then I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah, I have. How's my day going? My day's going. I mean, it started off bad. I'll just tell you guys what happened. I was thinking about doing this video, questioning of whether or not this year would be like the worst year of entertainment for me, and it looks like it might. Just because I tried to play. I finally got my hands on a copy of Rise of Ronin this morning, and I quit playing it in the first hour. Like Rise of Ronin was like my most anticipated game of this year, and like the gameplay is so overwhelming for me that I quit playing. Like it was literally I pulled it out of my game, slapped like envelope, popped it in, took like 2 hours to install, played it, and within like the first like hour, I died like 10 times on normal difficulty. And then when I actually start looking at some reviews, I found out that I thought this was gonna be like Assassin's Creed mixed with Ghost of Tsushima, and it ended up being more of like a Souls game set in Japan. And once I heard that, I knew this was a total disaster, because every Souls style game that I have played in the last 4 years, I have hated in the first hour. I tried playing Elden Ring, couldn't get into that game. I tried playing Lords of the Fallen, hated that game. Tried playing what else was it? Bloodborne, hated that game. I think the only like Souls style game I think I've played and enjoyed is probably the recent Star Wars Jedi Fallen and Jedi Survivor games. But that was primarily because they were Star Wars. So I'm really pissed off that that's what Rise of Ronin is. And it's just like, I looked at my schedule and was like, I really don't have many games left for the year. Like I have I had 4 games the entire year. I had Helldivers, Rise of Ronin, South Park, which is currently on its way, and Stellar Blade, which comes out next month. I don't have anything after April. Like, nothing. And then when it comes to movies, there's only, like, 2 of them that are, like, must-watches. The rest of them are, like, maybes and I don't knows. Like, Dune Part 2, I've seen that. Ghostbusters, I decided to skip. Deadpool 3, that's a maybe. Kraven the Hunter, that's a maybe. Beetlejuice 2 is a watch. Venom 3 is a maybe. I'll probably skip that one because I didn't really have that much of a fun time with Venom 2. Gladiator 2, I don't even know why they're making a Gladiator 2, so I'm thinking of avoiding that one. And then Sonic the Hedgehog 3, that's like the last to watch, and that's in December. Like, this literally does look like the worst year of entertainment for both movies and games, because all of the movies are nothing but sequels, and I only have 4 games, and my most anticipated game is a game that I quit playing after an hour. That sucks. That sucks. Ugh. Do you think they should remaster Resident Evil 0? I think they could, but I think at this point, I think they should, if they were, it would be like, update, remake Code Veronica, then remake Resident Evil 0, and then after that, if you really have to, then go for a remake of 5. So, yeah. There's a cutscene at the start of a mission. At the end, they removed the one at the end of the mission. What mission was that? Wait, are you playing Galactic Conquest? Or are you playing Rise of the Empire campaign? Because there's a difference. Resident Evil in open world is a terrible idea. You're damn right, it's a bad idea. And I hate Bloodborne. Yeah, I hate Bloodborne. I tried playing that for an hour, and I hated it. I hated it. I cannot get into those type of games. They just don't work. They do not work for me at all. Vengeance. You played Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I think it's good, but there's something about it that I don't like, such as the knife breaking. Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah. Like, Leon deflecting a chainsaw with a knife? Come on. I mean, when did Leon S. Kennedy become John Wick? And, like, Leon's character is so depressing. Like, everyone in that game is depressing. Like, there's, like, no sense of fun factor. Like, and I got into, like, a dispute, like, with someone online saying how he didn't like the cheesiness of Resident Evil. And I explained, like, well, Resident Evil 4 was, like, my introduction into the franchise. So as far as I knew, that version of Leon was like the only one I knew. And so he says, "Oh, that seems like completely different from how he was in Resident Evil 2." It's like, well, I didn't play Resident Evil 2 until I played at Resident Evil 6, so I didn't know that. But even so, I'd be like, no, that version of OD Leon and Resident Evil 4, that's my Leon. Like, and they removed my favorite line in Resident Evil history, which pissed me off. So like, that's why I'm like, I'll never play the remake. Like, I'm glad that people are having fun with the remake, but like the remake is like added so much thing. That game feels more action focused than like Resident Evil's 4, 5, and 6 combined. Like that really, from what I saw, that had way more. It felt more action, fast paced. And like Resident Evil 6 was like the Chris campaign was purely a shooter campaign. Bloodborne is my favorite Souls-like game, but I understand why people don't like Souls-like games. Yeah, I'm glad you like A Broken Limit, but yeah, I can't do Souls-style games. I just can't. Thoughts on Toriyama's death? I was hurt by it. I was definitely sad. A lot of us grew up on his work, so yeah. You've seen Ghostbusters. It's actually really good. I heard there was like a whole lesbian storyline thing, and I was like, oh dear God. And like Bill Murray's in there for like 5 minutes. And there's so many characters, it's a mess. And that was what I was afraid of. And I really loved Afterlife. I absolutely loved Afterlife. I know some people didn't care much for it because they felt it was like too nostalgic, but like after the disaster of that 2016 version, which I only saw clips of and I knew it was going to be a total train wreck, like I was just desperate for anything that was just a good Ghostbusters movie, and Afterlife was. Winter Ghost, a Souls game is a recipe, was never going to go well. The parry system. Oh my God! Oh dear Lord! Oh God! Rise of Ronin. Oh no! It was a total disaster. I mean, I like the character customization. It was really good, but like I didn't even get to. I literally like when I'm getting my ass kicked in the tutorial section on average difficulty. I know there's a problem. I knew there was something wrong. I'm so glad I didn't buy this game, and which is why GameFly is such an important part of my life, because it allows me to play physical copies of games, and if it's something that I end up loving, I'll just keep the game. And because if you get a game in the first like wave of new games, you're getting a brand new copy, and if you wait like 2 or 3 months, you get it at like a sales price like $40. Like that's what I did recently with I don't know where the hell I put it. It's just down there. I did that with RoboCop. Like I finally purchased RoboCop like last week, and I'd held it for like 4 months, and I love RoboCop. I might have to go back and do a review for that. Saw your last video on Resident Evil. I thought you said you didn't want to see it on one of your videos. I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't need to see a remake of 5, but I would be more open for a remake of 5. I'm not saying they have to, but I'm saying if they did remake 5 and they added those improvements, I would give it a chance. 4, I did not feel like it ever needed a remake. 5, I'm a little bit more lenient towards. Like if it's like a perfect 10 out of 10 game, I don't want remakes for it. Because to change it is to take away what made it great in the first place. That's why I don't like these remakes of like my all-time favorite games. And it just feels like they are systematically targeting my favorite video games of all time. You also don't like how weak the weapons are in Remake, also mixing sources with gunpowder. That is stupid. That's just a waste of time. Which do I prefer, Star Wars or Resident Evil? Oh, definitely Star Wars. Not Disney Star Wars, but like classic Star Wars. What is my favorite Resident Evil line? Oh, I love this. Okay, so my favorite Resident Evil line of all time that pretty much sums up why Resident Evil is awesome. It is right before the Salazar fight, and it's like as soon as he transforms, like Leon ain't scared at all. Like he's been through a lot of crap, and he says this classic line. I love this delivery. He says, "Monsters. I guess after this, there'll be one less to worry about." And that right there sums up Leon perfectly. He is a man who will take on any challenge with the utmost confidence. Not seem like he has a stick up his ass like in the remake version, who's just so goddamn depressing. And like, he looks like a zombie. Like, he's just so not fun. Like, look, I understand we're in a dangerous situation and a seriousness to it, but like, lighten up. Like, I mean, I like the little cheesy jokes and little kind of throwbacks he would throw at the opponent. I love those, and they took those completely out. But, like, that one line is my favorite line in Resident Evil history. That sums up how I experience these games. Resident Evil 4 Remake was also relentlessly difficult. I mean, I heard that. I did hear that. What's okay? Was your hand... Yes! Yes, Broken Limit! Like, lines like that! That made Resident Evil 4 fun! The fun factor was completely ripped out in the remake. It wasn't fun. Do I like Chucky? Not really. I wouldn't say he's like one of my favorite like on-screen villain like slasher characters. Boda, did I see the trailer for Final Fantasy 16's The Rising Tide? Yes, I did. I'm already set to go. It's crazy to think like the best game that I'll play this year is DLC content. Because I loved the Fall for the Echoes, the last one for Omega, and I'm pumped up for this upcoming DLC that'll come out next month. So it's crazy that my favorite game last year, the DLC content, is the best thing I'll play this year. Also, the parry and Resident Evil 4 breaks the game. Absolutely! What's my favorite gun in OG Resident Evil 4? Ooh, favorite gun. I think my go-to gun was the TMB. Like, I can use that in any situation. But a good second is the Matilda. I love the Matilda. Did you talk about Marvel Heroes Shooter yet? Dylan, there's a Marvel Heroes Shooter? I've never heard of that. What other games do I have multiple copies of other than 10 and Metal Gear Solid 3? Oh, multiple copies. Maybe Kingdom Hearts. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 might be the next candidate. I think because I have them on PlayStation 2, I have them on 3, and then I have them on 4. But they're released part of like the 1.5 and the 2.5, so I'm not sure if that counts. Because yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I would say probably Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. The parry function for Souls-like games is why I stopped playing. Wow. Yeah, that parry system does not work for me at all. I also agree that co-op made Resident Evil 5 times better. Absolutely. I've even heard some people say that if you ripped the co-op out and just made it single player only, it would be a better game. It's like, no, it would not. Not the way that game was constructed. You need that co-op element. That's what made it fun. And here's the thing that always pissed me off is like a lot of people claim to like say that Resident Evil 5 killed the franchise. I mean, do you guys realize for like the longest time, Resident Evil 5 was like the highest selling Resident Evil game of all time, and I think it's like probably still number 3. Like I'm fairly confident about that. I think across all platforms, even with the re-releases, it's probably either the second or third most successful Resident Evil game. And every time it gets re-released, it sells multiple millions of copies. So it's clearly that there's a solid, strong audience that likes this game the way it is. That felt like even if it went for much more action orientated, it didn't go full action. There was still some survival horror elements. It just felt like 60% action, 40% horror, but that would increase as you progress through the game. But then again, Resident Evil 4 did the same thing. Like I'm telling you, the entire last chapter, you're dealing with enemies that are using firearms and guns and Gatling guns. So I'm like, it kind of felt like as you progressed through Resident Evil 4 OG that the action was increased, was kind of taking over. It felt that way. Thoughts on the Max Payne games? Okay, well, I like Max Payne 1. Max Payne 2 is probably my favorite in the franchise, and I really like Max Payne 3. I think at least Max Payne 1, I think that's a game worth remaking. Like, I would support remaking Max Payne. I would absolutely support that. No thanks, bro. Lone Blade 94. I can understand Resident Evil 4 getting a remake, but not 5. The game is fun, but it's kind of an afterthought almost. I totally respect that. Like if I hope they don't make a remake of 5, but it just kind of seems like as we progress and they run out of ideas, a remake will eventually come. And my question is, when will these remakes stop? Like, are they gonna remake 6? 6 would be crazy to remake. Are they going to remake 7? Are they going to remake 8? Are they going to remake 9? Like, how far are we going to take these remakes? Like, when does this stop? Are they going to remake 1 again? My game of the year so far is Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 was a surprise. I am having fun with that game. I'm not sure if I would say it's my game of the year, but I probably would say so far that is the game that I've had the best experience so far with. I'll have to see what will happen with South Park when it gets here, like tomorrow, or Stellar Blade, because clearly those are the only games left I have for the rest of the year. Like, that's it. Like, nothing else comes out for the rest of the year. It's crazy. I'm also not a big fan of the voices in the remake, especially Leon. I heard the remake. I heard the remake voice for Ada was awful. I heard that. Ever watch Netflix Resident Evil show? Oh dear God, no. Oh, I avoided that damn thing like the plague. That looks stupid. And for what I heard, it was stupid. What's my favorite firearm in any Devil May Cry game? Ebony and Ivory pistols. You can't go wrong with the classics. Basically, Overwatch with Marvel characters. Dylan, I've never heard of that. So I'm drawing a complete blank. What's my favorite Dante moment in all the Devil May Cry games? Mine is, oh my God, I saw a reaction video for that, and people were losing their stuff. And you have to remember, Devil May Cry 5 came out when all those new Michael Jackson allegations were coming out, and so people were kind of awkward, but I thought it was awesome. But without question, my favorite Dante moment in the franchise is in Devil May Cry 3, after he gets beaten by Virgil for the first time, and he like jumps off the building and he starts taking out all those demons, and he gets like, that entire sequence is amazing. Like, that perfectly sets the tone for the whole game and perfectly illustrates why Dante as a character is so cool. But yeah, that's easily my favorite Dante moment in the entire franchise, without question. John Wick versus Jason Bourne. Who's more badass? John Wick. Jason Bourne. I think I would lean more towards John Wick, because I think he's great with weapons and is a great hand-to-hand combatant. While Jason Bourne is just reasonably good with hand-to-hand combat. I'm pretty sure if they were to fight, John Wick would take down Bourne. I'm pretty confident in that. What elements in a game immediately make me avoid it? Oh dear God, make me avoid it. I think an element that makes me completely avoid it is when they throw so much at you. There's too many elements early on. And I think that's the problem with some of these Soul games. They give you too much too quickly, and there's like a major difficulty spike with no explanation. I think something like that like immediately turns me off. That's why I don't like Souls games. Do I believe in the Michael Jackson allegations? Absolutely not. No. Hell no. I'm a massive Michael Jackson fan. I don't believe those allegations at all. I don't believe he touched those kids. Could he have been a little bit weird? Yes. Odd? Yes. But do I think he did anything to those kids on both occasions? Absolutely not. Do I think it was a mistake that he paid off that first group of families? Yes, because it made him guilty. But no, not for 1 second do I believe those are true. Absolutely not. Michael Jackson was an absolutely incredible human being. And what the media did to him was unforgivable. What is my favorite devil arm in any Devil May Cry game? Yamato. And I have my own personal Yamato sword right there. And I think I've showed people that. Yeah, Yamato. What is my most disappointing remake that I've ever played? Disappointing remake? Man, that's tough. I'm not sure. I can't really think of any remakes I thought were disappointing. I can think of remakes I enjoyed because I didn't like the original in the form of the Resident Evil 2 remake. I mean, I hated the whole first third in the police station, but once I was past that point, then the game was amazing. What is my favorite and least favorite Naughty Dog game, not including Uncharted? That's hard because I don't really know what Naughty Dog has done outside of Uncharted and The Last of Us, and I didn't care. I liked The Last of Us, but I didn't love it, and people wanted to kill me for that, and I didn't even want to waste my time with The Last of Us 2, which I didn't even play, so I'm not really sure. Lone Blade, what are my thoughts on Deadpool versus Wolverine? I don't know. I don't know if I'll see it. I don't know. Because it's a Disney movie, and I don't know how they may have stripped it out. Like, I don't know if it's rated R, but that would be surprising if it is. But, like, I don't know. It feels almost unnecessary. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll see it. Why is Krauser such a jobber? I don't know why he's such a job. I mean, I don't think he's a jobber. I just think that it's interesting that with him being so threatening, he's like the most effective weapon against him. Surprisingly, it's not a gun, it's the knife. And that seems like so proper. But I don't know. I never felt like Krauser was a jobber. I think they could have done a lot with his character because he has a history with Leon. And I just hated what they did with him in the remake. I hated what they did. Dante dancing like MJ perfectly shows what kind of guy he is. He's a level... Absolutely. Even in his old age. Yeah, I love that. The fact that these allegations... Yeah, that's what makes me even more upset. The fact that these allegations are coming long after he has died is ridiculous. Like, even after he's dead, people are still coming after him. I'm like, how sick of a person you have to be to attack a man who's not even alive to defend himself? Like, those kind of people I think are pathetic. Can I moonwalk? Yes, I can. Yes, I absolutely made sure I knew how to moonwalk. I can do that. I got into so many arguments with people over Michael Jackson allegations, I don't believe them at all. Yeah, I've gotten into arguments with a couple people that just could not prove it. Yeah, I have. Am I interested in Silent Hill 2 remake? No, I'm not a Silent Hill fan at all. I think, no. I've never been a Silent Hill fan at all. Don't like the games, don't like the movies, don't like the comic books or novels if they have them. Not a Silent Hill fan. Mud Sling, my bad. Do I think the PlayStation 5 has failed? No. Why? What makes you think it's failed? As far as I'm concerned, it's still it's the best-selling console of this generation. It's definitely out. Why would it be failing? No, of course not. What makes you think it's failing? Moonwalk for us. I can't do it. There's not enough room to do it here. And like most people, I don't think I can do. I don't think I can moonwalk on carpet. I can moonwalk on the kitchen floor or at work on the bowling lane, like a good surface. But yeah, I don't know. There was a rumor that apparently my dad knew how to moonwalk on carpet. I'd never seen him do it, but you know. You regret buying a GameCube over the PlayStation 2 and Xbox? Yeah, I know some people that made that decision too. Can I move? I would moonwalk if I would moonwalk, but I just don't know how to do it on carpet. I mean, I generally do know how to moonwalk, and I have shown that off to a lot of people, but I'm not sure if I know how to do it on carpet. I've seen some people do it on concrete, but they had to have the right footwear, which was crazy. I've seen people moonwalk in some of the strangest places. I think someone did a moonwalk in an NFL game, and I was like, how the hell do you moonwalk in cleats on turf? But he did it somehow. I was like, wow. Can I sing or dance first? Maybe one day. Maybe one day if I decide to stream Michael Jackson The Experience. That has a dancing and singing function. Maybe then. Because I will say this. Michael Jackson is the only artist I feel... No, I take it back. Michael Jackson, Phil Collins and Linkin Park are the only artists or bands I feel comfortable singing. Yeah. Like, if I'm by myself, and one of their songs comes on, I'll sing it. Without question. People have been saying the PlayStation 5 is worse than the Wii U. How? Is that even... What? Who's saying that? Who is saying that? That is ridiculous. Like, what are you talking about? Like I'm gonna look up, like, PlayStation 5 sales. Like, that's... Like, right now, like... It's already sold more than 50 million units. Like, we're already half pay almost to 100. Like, what would be considered a failure? And then if you look at the Xbox Series X, like, it's only at 27. Like, what are you talking about? What are you saying it's a failure? Like, the Xbox One was a failure. I don't know who's saying that, but that's ridiculous. Won my battle, blasted those auto turrets with a pan. Oh snap, bro's here. Hey man, I just got your text. Watch the teaser trailer for Deadpool 3. I think there's a random chance, still very bloody. It may help me with my worries. Okay, I'll be sure to check that out, bro. And yeah, I got your text. By the way, I got a new phone case. What do you guys think? And this came in the mail yesterday. So, yeah, I don't know. I think having options is good. So, yeah, this one felt more heavy duty. I like the sleekness of this one. This actually feels a little bit better. Here's a video I did. Top 5 hack and slash video game franchises. I don't know if there's enough franchises, but I think I've done hack and... I know for a fact I've done hack and slash games. I know for a fact I know I've done hack and slash games. You just noticed the Chikorita plush. Oh, of course. I love Chikorita. I don't care what any of you guys say. I love Chikorita. She's my favorite starter of all time. Even though people think she's useless, but she's always been on all my Pokemon League teams. What about the Slickback? Can I do Slickback? Maybe. But I may not do that on camera. Have I ever played a Metroid game? I think the only Metroid game I've ever played is Super Metroid on the Super NES. Meteor is my top 5 favorite albums. Yeah, well, Meteor is my favorite album of all time. Big time. Like, if I had to choose between going to a Meteor concert or a Michael Jackson Dangerous concert, I would pick Meteor. At this point, you should just make a video of dancing and singing. I did do that. My Ghostbusters dance videos, my Just Dance videos, dude, my Ghostbusters Just Dance videos have millions of views. Like, literally, like, even to this day, it's kind of ridiculous that even to this day, after 10 years, my Ghostbusters dance videos literally get hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands of views a month. Like, thousands of views an hour. After 10 years. That's crazy. Phil Collins, yeah, I inherited Phil Collins from my dad. Like, a lot of my music artist choices I inherited from my parents or my older sister. Like, I got Michael Jackson from my mom. I got, like, people like Phil Collins and Celine Dion from my dad. I got people like Linkin Park and Disturbed. I got that from my sister. Very few artists I discovered that I loved on my own. My bigger collections came from someone else as I grew up. Collision Course is my favorite Linkin Park album. Okay, respect. I Don't Care Anymore. Yeah, that's a great song. And I also love Phil Collins' work when he was in Genesis. Some of the later ones. Which things make it easier for me to tell when a game is going to be bad? I think it's how the game introduces its gameplay style in the first hour. I think that's why Souls games have never worked for me. Like within like the first, like there's some games where you know they're gonna get harder as you progress, and that's understandable because you have to get used to it. But like there's some games like these Souls games where they throw like too much at you at the very beginning, and I think that's what happened with Rise of Ronin, at least for me. I had a Wii, and I can't see it being better than the PlayStation 5. I had a Wii too, and I think I've told the story as for why I bought a Nintendo Wii and why I gave it up. So, you used to sing to Disturbed songs when no one's at home. Heck, I used to do that. I could do that too. Super NES, nice, looks retro, pretty cool case. Do I have any Pokemon cards? I got a few Pokemon cards, but not many. Love American Idiot. Do you still play Just Dance? I can still play Just Dance pretty well. I'm not sure if people would want me to play that more often. Maybe I'll do that in a future stream. But yes, I can still play Just Dance. I still have these. They still work. Although, I gotta admit, the tip's a little bit yellowish, but maybe I can clean that off. Yeah, it's still, I charge it. I'm always ready to play Just Dance at any time. Yes, I'm still very good at Just Dance. Favorite album is 10,000 Fists by Disturbed. That's pretty cool. Dang, so it did... Oh, dude, it's not even close. Dude, the Cole versus Delson matchup, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's the highest versus matchup I ever did. But, dude, my Just Dance videos blow those away. It's not even close. I got Pat from Dad. I'm so dumb. Also forgot about your Ghostbusters videos. Like, yeah, dude. When you get, guys, I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance, just type up Just Dance Ghostbusters. I promise you, the top 2 videos are gonna be mine. And I think right now, I'm curious where they're at right now. Yeah, let me double check. Just Dance Ghostbusters. Yeah, just type in Just Dance Ghostbusters. First 2 videos are mine. Yep, right there. My PlayStation 4 one has 48 million views, and my PlayStation 3 one has 36 million views. And that was like a test video, which is crazy because like the PlayStation 3 version, how I recorded, that was really like a test video, and it's got 36 million views. And then the PlayStation 4 version got 48. I remember there was a period of time where that video actually had more views than the official Ghostbusters video, which I thought was crazy. I was like, how is that even possible? Yeah, even now, like it still gets hundreds of thousands of views a day. Literally. What is my favorite film that starred Will Smith before the Slapgate? Favorite film, Will Smith. Dude, oh man, damn, there's so many good ones. Oh, that's hard. It'd be like maybe Men in Black, Wild Wild West, Independence Day, even though he's like part of a cast, but like if him being the lead. I, Robot's a really good one. I Am Legend with the alternate endings, an amazing film. Dude, there's so many Bad Boys. I'm not even gonna see this next Bad Boys film. Like that's how pissed off I am at him. Like I'm not even gonna go see it. Like I can't even watch his films anymore. Would I drive a Divatora? Probably not. I still have my Wii and my Wii U. Good for you, man. I gave mine away to some local kid in the neighborhood. What do I think is the best trilogy of all time? I think Toy Story. My opinion, Toy Story. It's the only trilogy I've ever been able to enjoy at all 3 stages of my life. I saw Toy Story 1 as a kid, I saw Toy Story 2 as a teenager, and I saw Toy Story 3 as an adult. I do not acknowledge Toy Story 4. That movie does not exist, and I will never acknowledge Toy Story 5. It never needed a sequel after 3. And 4 pissed me off so much, like I couldn't even focus on it. Like the first 10 minutes completely destroyed the entire third film. Like, and I could not stop thinking about it. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to the rest of Toy Story 4. Like, I was so pissed off at those first 10 minutes. I was like, I just couldn't walk out. Like, I wanted to walk out. What if Sour appeared in Ace Attorney? That would be really, really weird. Winner goes, top search. Vampire, I discovered your channel not from your Ghostbusters video, but from your top 5 favorite video game franchises video. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, thank you. I love to see Cole and Delsin take on John. They wouldn't. I don't think they need to. Cole dealt with John on his own, so I don't think he needs to. Not gonna lie, you discovered me through my Ezio versus Edward matchup. I appreciate that. I like that. Someone did a matchup I will say this. Someone did a matchup recently that I loved. They did Darth Zana versus Galen Merrick, and I love that matchup so much. I'm seriously tempted on doing a follow-up to my Cal Kestis Galen Merrick matchup by doing Cal Kestis versus Starkiller from Force Unleashed 2. Like, I'm super tempted. Like, I actively want to do it. Like, I love that matchup so much. I even commented. I want to do it now. I really do. Like a one-off. I really want to do it, but I'm just like, should I? I don't know. The video that introduced me to your channel is the one where you rank the Arkham games from worst to best. Awesome. By the way, the next ranking, if you guys have any idea, like, I apologize. I had a list of like ideas that I think someone sent me. I lost the list, and so like the next matchup, the next video I'm currently editing right now. I think I can show you. Right now, is I'm doing a worst to best tier list style ranking of all of the Metal Gear Solid 3 bosses. So the people that you killed, if you did kill anyone on this pathway, including the members of the Cobra units that you've beaten up to that point, which by that point you will have beaten all but one. Now, the reason I put this as average is it's pretty much based on the fact. So that video will probably be up after the mystery stream, in which, mystery stream. Wait, how much time we got? How much time we got? We got 16 minutes, and that went by fast. Yeah. Do I get any money off of Ghostbusters? No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not monetized at all. Yeah. So I think Assassin's Creed is doing better now. Me personally, I don't think so. I haven't really enjoyed the last couple of Assassin's Creed games. To be fair, I've not really enjoyed them. But no, Shadow Jesus, I don't get money off of those videos. I can't. They're not monetized. And I can't even monetize my channel anymore for some reason. I Am Legend is too amazing that it looks past the Slapgate. You prefer to call Toy Story 4 Toy Story Dark Fate. I agree. Yeah, Terminator Dark Fate did the same thing. That's why I was pissed off at that film. How did it destroy Toy Story 3? I haven't seen it. Okay. Here's what happens. Okay, so the entire third movie is built upon, like, Andy. The ending of 3 happens that Andy passes on Woody and his toys to this little girl. The reason the first 10 minutes ruins the entire third film is that for us it was like multiple years, but like in terms of movie timeline, it's only been like a week. If it's been like a week, that little girl has completely forgotten about Woody and doesn't even care about him anymore. And like that ruins the whole point of the third film. Like, and it's only Woody. And at the end of the fourth film, they decide to separate Buzz Lightyear and Woody. And I didn't even know that happened as I was watching the film. I was told that like weeks after because I was so out of it watching that fourth film that I didn't even know that happened. Like, that's how bad those first 10 minutes were. Like, I was in the theater and I was so distraught, I couldn't even register what was happening in the film as I was in the theater watching it. So I didn't even know that Woody and Buzz had separated as I was watching it. Like, that's how much it bothered me. I, Robot or I Am Legend? Which do I like better? I, Robot, easily. I get they need to keep up relevancy, but come on, they couldn't have done the miseries of wrapping up the story instead. Yeah, I agree. Have you ever heard of Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid? It messed up a little bit. Yeah, I've heard that. Cal Kestis versus Ezra. Cal would win. It's easy. I know you don't like versus questions, but I'll ask you: Revolver Ocelot or Jack Krauser? Krauser. Yeah, Krauser. Once he got to close range, Revolver Ocelot is dead. Krauser would keep up the pressure. Krauser could set up the battlefield. Revolver Ocelot, he's a good gunslinger, but once he got up close, he's screwed. I learned a few things to your Gray Fox versus Raiden matchup. Oh dear God, that's an old one. That's another matchup. I've actually thought about redoing the audio for the entire first season because the audio for those matchups is awful because I didn't have a good microphone. So that's another idea I've been kind of been floating around. Your channel has been doing pretty well lately in terms of views. Oh, it has been. I'm not sure if we'll get to 90,000 subscribers. I have gotten a major bump, but I'm not sure if I have. Have I heard of Christopher Nolan already writing his next film? Yeah, I heard him. Apparently, he wanted to do a movie version of some series called The Prisoner, but I've never heard of it. The Sorrow is average. Interesting. Oh well. When you see the video later on today, you'll find out what I think about it. Terminator Dark Fate versus Transformers Dark of the Moon. Which is worse? Oh, easily Dark Fate. Dark of the Moon I actually like. I saw that in theaters in 3D. Do I like Eminem? I think he's okay, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of his. But I like some of his music. Liquid Ocelot versus Albert Wesker. Albert Wesker, easily. That's an easy matchup. Bailey. Hi, Bailey. How are you doing today? And welcome to the stream. We got 12 minutes till the mystery stream game, and I'm a little bit excited. Maybe a little bit. And you didn't see that. I saw your reaction to a Batman movie review you did many years ago where you cosplayed. Oh dear God! Oh God, I miss those days. I tried to be. That was my attempt at being funny. And I think it was horrible. I'm used to bad audio. I also went to watch Kramer and Gotcha battles. No, you don't have to guess. You don't have to. I don't know. I mean, the game's already installed, so I might do a good hour playthrough of it. What if Optimus broke his opponent's weapon instead of killing them? I don't know. It seemed like Optimus was much more vengeful in the films than he is in the cartoon series. He's much more willing to kill people, which is a bit of a departure from the traditional version of Optimus Prime. I wonder how easy it would be for Superman and the Flash to deal with the whole mess in Resident Evil 5. It's Superman and the Flash. You saw the title? No, you didn't, Vamp. No, you didn't. That was a throw you off. I give you one thing and it's something else. I will say this. Someone did mention it earlier today. I'll say that much. Do you think Superman has fallen off? I don't necessarily think he's fallen off. I just think he needs good writers to support him. But again, the entire comic book era is, completely messed up, if we're being fair. What are you saying about my question? I said if you throw Superman and the Flash and Resident Evil 5, there wouldn't be a game. That situation would be dealt with in minutes. What's Wesker gonna do against Superman and the Flash? What if Nightwing had to fight Liquid Ocelot? Oh, Nightwing would win. That's easy. Give us a hint. I think I gave you a hint. Someone mentioned it earlier in the stream. That's my hint. That's your hint. Someone already mentioned it. And we got 10 minutes left. But yeah, guys, keep your questions going. You don't have to keep guessing what game it is that we're gonna play for the next hour. But that's my hint. Yeah, someone already mentioned it. I think I know what it is, but I'll shut up. Well, we'll see. Yeah, well, in the comics now, Venom spawned another symbiote and it bounced onto Black Widow. Really? Now Black Widow has a symbiote. Okay, I guess that could work. I mean, lots of people have been infected by symbiotes and done all right. Do I have any Pokemon cards? Um, yes, I do have some. I have like a few Pokemon cards, but not many. I don't really collect Pokemon cards, but like my friend John, he gave me a pair of Ho-Oat and Lugia Pokemon cards because he knew how much I felt about the Johto era, which is my favorite era of Pokemon. Like Pokemon, I lost serious interest in Pokemon after Johto. What is the most disappointing movie sequel that I've ever seen? Disappointing movie sequel? Oh dear God, there's so many of them. Disappointing movie sequel. Man, maybe Blade 3 was pretty disappointing, but that fell into a trend where like the first one was good, the second one was great, and the third one fell off. But like a lot of trilogies played out that way. But that's like the only one that I know off the top of my head. I'd have to really do research and think about it. They're putting the symbiote on everyone now. I guess so. They're passing just symbiotes out like candy now. So, Venom or Carnage, who's better? I would be a much more bigger Venom fan, but I would be much more scared of Carnage. I mean, Widow already has Nox Super Soldier Serum. Why would you give her a symbiote? I don't know. Maybe they're just out of ideas. This is probably the last thing you would hear from me, but what is my least favorite Will Smith flick? What was that? I think 7 Pounds. I think that was like the first Will Smith movie that I saw that I generally just did not care for. Like up until that point, I had been like following his movies where I had seen like literally every single movie, even the movie like even Hitch, which I thought was just okay. But like I think 7 Pounds was like the first film that I was like, yeah, I don't really like this movie. Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon? Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Big time. A much bigger Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan than Pokemon. Do I have a Rumble? No, I do not have a Rumble for my N64. I never got a chance to experience that. Blade 3 was horse shit. Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. And I unfortunately saw that in theaters. What is my favorite boss in Devil May Cry 3? Virgil. Virgil or Beowulf? One of those two. Preferably either the last Virgil fight or the Beowulf fight, which that's always been a challenge. Goblin Formula versus Super Soldier. Which one would I rather have? Super Soldier. Easy. Blade 3 was okay. Yeah, I also heard that Wesley Snipes was like an asshole to Ryan Reynolds and he was like drunk half the time, so... Remember Duel Masters, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ripoff? Yeah, believe it or not, I actually did test that out when it came out when I was in high school. I couldn't get into it, but I did test it out. What is my favorite boss fight in Devil May Cry 5? Ooh, favorite boss. I'm gonna have to go with Virgil again. I also like how they did a proper, if you play through the game as Virgil, you can fight as Dante. But yeah, that last fight, really good. Love the atmosphere. Preferably when you play as Dante versus Virgil or Virgil versus Dante. Like, I love that atmosphere. What do I think is the biggest problem with Devil May Cry 4? I think the biggest problem I've had with Devil May Cry 4 is that I felt like playing as Nero felt easy, and playing as Dante, you were just playing the game backwards. Like, that's literally how the whole game works. That you played the game forward as Nero, and the game is like ridiculously easy. And then you play the game literally backwards as Dante, and the game is a lot more fun and challenging. Like literally, like you just did everything Nero did in reverse. You fight all the same boss fights, and like that's my only complaint about Devil May Cry 4. Like I still think it was a great Devil May Cry game, and like that DMC crap didn't need to get made. But like that was my only complaint about Devil May Cry 4. Other than that, it's still a great Devil May Cry game. Remember Dion Frontier? Unfortunately, ever been homeless? Hell no. No, I've never been homeless. Ever. So, would you rather have Krogan or Wookiee at my back? I would definitely take a Krogan over a Wookiee. Yeah, I would. Like, if I had to pick a Krogan or a Wookiee on my team, I would pick a Krogan. Would I want an adamantium skeleton? No, I would not. I don't know how that would help me. How do I think God of War will end? Isn't it already over? Like, what do you mean end? Like, do you think the franchise or the story? Like, I think given your perspective, you could say in a sense it already has ended. Dante versus Vincent Valentine. Dante. Depend on which version of Dante we're talking about. I'm assuming you mean Devil May Cry 5 Dante, so I think Dante would easily win. Devil May Cry 4 is like Metal Gear Solid 2, where we don't get to play as the character we want. Yes, you do. You get to play as Dante. You just get to play as Dante halfway through. It's not like Metal Gear Solid 2, where you play like the first like 15% as Snake, and then the next 85% is Raiden. The problem is that there was no indication that would happen. You play half the game as Nero the first way, and then you play as Dante playing backwards. It's 50-50. Which Devil May Cry has the most challenging legendary difficulty mode? 4 or 5? I would say 3. I think 3 is a goddamn nightmare. Oof. That's definitely the hardest Devil May Cry game ever. You haven't played Ragnarok, so you don't know how. You could say from a certain point of view that Ragnarok is a good ending for Kratos' story. If they did another another God of War game and it didn't focus on Kratos, I would be perfectly fine with that. I just don't know where else you could go with Kratos as a character after Ragnarok. AEW, WWE, or TNA? Well, I only partially watched WWE. I've never watched TNA or AEW. Which Devil May Cry game has my favorite enemy variety? Enemy variety, easily 4. And 4 has my favorite enemy variety. Easily. And we got 2 more minutes before the mystery stream starts. And surprisingly, nobody guessed the mystery game. I feel pretty good about that. Who is better leader, Cyclops or Captain America? Cyclops. I like X-Men a lot more than Avengers. Who would you be down to? Would I be down if they remade God of War 1, 2, or 3 maybe? They don't know. I'm fairly confident Santa Monica will never remake those games. There's no point. They want to move forward instead of thinking backwards. There is no point of remaking those games. Pray to God they don't ever do that. There is no need for that. I still would like to hear you talk about Devil May Cry 1 remake in a video. I think remaking 1 or 2 are like the only 2 Devil May Cry games I would like to see remade. I don't think they need to remake 4. They don't need to remake 3. If they did remake 3, the only thing I would like them to do is to have a completely make some improvements on the Virgil campaign. I think they did a great job at that with 5, how there was like each character had a different campaign and different exclusive missions. That's what I wish they had done in Devil May Cry 3, which they only surprisingly did in Devil May Cry 2, and yet people have completely forgotten about that. Do you think there will be problems with Spider-Man and Chris Redfield working together as different people? Yeah, probably. The characters from different worlds don't seem to really get along too well. Thoughts on the Battlefront collection? I like it. I've heard all these issues, but because I'm playing primarily solo, I'm not experiencing any of these issues. So, yeah. I hope they don't touch Devil May Cry 3. It would be like Devil May Cry 4. Absolutely, Vamp. I 100% agree with that statement. And it is currently 5, so I'm going to cut the stream here. This was fun. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes. And what are my expectations for Stellar Blade? For it to be the best game I have played this year, because that is the last new game I have planned for this year. So give me about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll start up the mystery stream. And we will play for a whole hour and hopefully have a wonderful time. I want to thank all of you guys who showed up in the chat. Hopefully some of you guys will continue to follow me in the next coming live stream. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome. And I will hopefully see you in a few short moments. So, see you soon.